Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 5:30.
Every day, an average of 22 veterans across America commit suicide. Good evening and thanks for joining us. Now, a push is on to provide veterans more of the counseling services they need right here in the Valley. Valley News Team's Neil Carlson shows us how some are lobbying for new Veterans Service Center in Grand Forks.
Folks from our region join the military at the highest per capita rate in the country. But when they return home, many vets in Grand Forks and other parts of the Northern Valley need to drive to Fargo for counseling services. Counseling to help them with post-traumatic stress.
It's important because it's for our combat veterans that are transitioning back into their normal lives, coming back here once they're out of the combat zone. We need to work with them, and it also affects the family. It doesn't just affect the military member, the veteran man or woman. It affects their family members as well.
The Veteran Service Center would also serve veterans over on the Minnesota side of the river in Polk County and possibly some other adjoining counties. In all, some 9,000 veterans in the Northern Valley. North Dakota Congressman Kevin Kramer and Senator Heidi Heitkamp are lobbying the Veterans Administration to furnish a vet center in Grand Forks.
North Dakota has the highest percentage of highly rural veterans in the country. We absolutely need to make sure that the services that they've earned are actually available to our vets, especially as it relates to behavior and mental health.
The other key point with this would be outreach to Walsh County, Polk County, Nelson, maybe Trail as well, where it'd be a shorter drive going from Fargo, because if you lose that 2, 3, 4 hours, depending on the weather, then that's 3, 4 veterans that you could have seen that day.
Congress has already approved $258 million for readjustment counseling services. It's now hoped some of that money will be directed toward a new vet center in Grand Forks. Neil Carlson, Valley News Live.
If you'd like to learn more about all of this, an open house will be held on February 23rd from 1 to 2 p.m. at the Veterans Service Office in Grand Forks, or you can go ahead and call 701-780-8296 for more information. Fergus Falls residents are heading to that city's police station tonight to hear about a level 3 sex offender moving to town. 59-year-old George Cota Jr. was convicted in Otter Tail County in 1994 for first-degree criminal sexual conduct. He has a history of sexual contact with girls as young as 9 years old. Cota was sentenced to 30 years but is being released after serving over 21 years. As a level 3 offender, Cota has the highest likelihood of committing another offense. That meeting starts at 6 tonight. We will bring you the latest on Valley News Live 10 at 10. Pretty mild and uneventful today weather-wise, but what about tonight? Here's meteorologist Robert Hahn with First Weather. Robert?
Yeah, tonight we'll continue to see some tranquil weather, some cloudy skies, some breezy conditions, and temperatures not dropping off too much from where they are right now. And right now we do have a mix of some 20s and some 30s, a bit warmer than the chilly weather we saw yesterday. 26 in Bemidji, 29 Grand Forks, 30 in Fargo, Wahpeton, Valley City, and in Jamestown. It is breezy out there. It's going to continue to be breezy during the overnight hours, and it's going to be breezy on your Thursday as well, and those winds are taking the edge off of those temperatures. So even though it is a bit warmer, it's still feeling rather chilly out there with wind chills mostly in the teens across the region. We've had clouds all day, and we'll continue to see them tonight and through the day tomorrow. And underneath those clouds, we are not seeing any precipitation, and that will be the trend as we head through the overnight hours. As we head through tomorrow night, though, things will start to change. Tonight here in Fargo, if you are headed out, bundle on up, use an extra spritz of hairspray. It's going to be a breezy one out there with temperatures very steady to slowly falling, remaining in the upper 20s as we head through the next several hours. I mentioned a chance of precipitation tomorrow night. That will continue into Friday. We've also got some warm weather to talk about. We'll get to all that here in just a few minutes.
Thanks so much, Robert. Clearly, the hottest, most sought-after items in the FM area are blue light bulbs. If you haven't heard, they are in huge demand. They're symbols as our community mourns the loss of Fargo police officer Jason Mosier. They are also a visible sign of support for local law enforcement, and those blue bulbs are in short supply. Fargo police received around 400 of them for distribution this morning, and within a half hour or so, they were all gone. On top of that, 500 bulbs evaporated yesterday. Fargo police say they hope to get another 1,000 for distribution on Friday. but they aren't expecting any tomorrow. And the last we checked, retail stores in the metro area don't have any either. Police say they are overwhelmed with the support they are seeing from the community during this tragedy.
A lot of thank you. We appreciate your service. We appreciate what you guys do. I mean, it's amazing what people are saying to us. I mean, it's just the outpouring support is just unbelievable.
Moorhead police are also expecting a shipment of blue bulbs sometime Friday. We'll let you know the latest on that as soon as that information is available. With over 700 police squad cars and thousands of people attending Officer Jason Mosier's funeral, Fargo hotels and businesses are gearing up for an influx of people. What they're doing for Mosier's family and out-of-town officers, coming up on Valley News Live at 6. A man was arrested in connection with a domestic disturbance this morning at the Dilworth Walmart. Myron Jensen of Fargo faces charges for drug possession and paraphernalia. Law enforcement arrived on the scene around 3 a.m. Walmart shoppers were allowed to remain in the store at the time of the arrest. OPEC announced Tuesday it will be freezing oil production in an effort to bring back the market. But Iran is back in the mix and could shake things up. Our Washington Bureau correspondent Alex Miller explains what's at stake.
Well, right now there's such a surplus in oil, and the world's biggest players, OPEC minus Iran, are concerned that the world's inventories are just going to fill up and consumers are not going to want to buy their oil, and they're going to have to keep dropping the prices. Now, yesterday, OPEC definitely showed their cards just a little bit, but with Iran in the mix, they're not showing their hand just yet. Decades of crippling sanctions against Iran are coming to a halt, and with that, they're looking to break back into the oil game. But they're doing so when oil prices are at record lows, and with 40 to 50 million of their own barrels in storage waiting to be sold.
I think they're already finding that they're having trouble selling that oil. World supply is already outpacing demand by about 1.5 million barrels a day.
Iran says they still plan to ramp up production. Senator Heidi Heitkamp is skeptical.
They can say that, but at these prices, it's going to be hard to attract the kind of investment. Their additional oil really is adding to the saturation, but not creating the saturation of what's happening.
Senator John Hoeven is not. He says the Iran deal made it easier for our enemies to export oil. And now he's concerned about Iran getting back into the industry. And many of his concerns have little to do with oil.
Iran is the #1 state sponsor of terror in the world, so they're using those revenues to support their terrorist activity.
Both senators are banking on North Dakota continuing to grow as a significant player in the global game. But while many consumers across the country are high-fiving over low gas prices and extra cash in their pockets, experts say the way we're getting those low prices may not be best for North Dakotans.
We've got all these people here in North Dakota that are either out of work or they were selling stuff to the oil companies. Oil companies aren't spending anything right now.
It's a hefty order, but the goal is to keep costs affordable for the consumer and keep production ongoing so that when prices inevitably go up, we can get our oil from right here in the U.S. From the Valley News Live Washington Bureau, I'm Alex Miller.
Apple says it will not help investigators break into the iPhone of one of the San Bernardino killers. A judge in California has ordered the company to help the FBI get into Syed Farook's phone. However, a letter signed by Apple CEO Tim Cook warns that complying with the order would entail building a backdoor to the iPhone, creating something we consider too dangerous to create. The letter goes on to say such a move would potentially render tens of millions of devices vulnerable. Investigators have Farook's phone, but it's locked with a passcode they can't penetrate. Farook and his wife, Tafshin Malik, killed 14 people in December before dying in a shootout with police. The government said it owes it to the victims' families to investigate every aspect of the attack. It's another Wedding Wednesday, but no matter what your next big life event is, some of the most delicious and important part of planning is the food. Professional caterers and cake decorators say the biggest things to do when planning are to know the number in your party, the theme, and the budget. Cashwise Foods will also deliver the food and provide servers if needed, which is something other caterers might not do. The bakery has something from small sheet cakes to tiered wedding cakes.
Between all the decorators, we have 40+ years experience, and our cakes are delicious. We have, flower shop, we have a deli, and of course we have desserts.
Be sure to join us for the last wedding Wednesday on the Valley Today from 4:30 to 7 a.m. next week. A new